Imaging, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, so you should be able to see me in there.
Yep.
Red, orange, and yellow guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that means I'm the hottest thing inside the video. Sorry, fellas, but that's how that works. Haha, yeah, bridal parties that kills, just so you know. So red, orange, and yellow means those are the warm things. So we're looking for cold spots. So again, blue and black are the cold areas in this particular frame. We're looking for them to either take shape or to start moving on their own. When I say take shape, it's usually in the form of a person. So those are the holy cow moments that we have with this camera. This is a FLIR. This is what firemen use to actually help save people. This is the real deal. This is not a phone app, just so you know. So you're not going to go home and start looking for like thermal imaging. They don't actually work on the phone app pieces. So I've tested them all. I went with this. It's way more accurate. The cool thing about your video that you're going to get back tomorrow, there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen, and it is there to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular moment. So I look for 15+ degree temperature drops. So we're sitting at about 59 degrees tonight, which thank the Lord after this past week. So I'm going to be looking for about 44 and lower on that cold spot. It's not always that specific point, but I have a little bit more trained eye because I stare at these videos every single day. So with this one, I actually think I'm going to go with you on this one. Yeah. So how people actually hold these, that's the start and stop button. Welcome to a parking lot. Congratulations, you made it. Yeah, I told you I'm taking you to weird spaces. Cameras, keep in mind that there are a lot of vehicles in here tonight, so we do not go in between vehicles once we start spreading out after we go over the history of the location. And it goes for pretty much everybody, right? We still have plenty of space to be able to work with, which is kind of nice that this whole back area is open. So where are we? We are at the Eliza and Charles Pinckney mansion. Their mansion actually sat in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across. That guy does that every single night.
Sorry. Does he try to annoy you or something?
I don't know. He must. Anyway. And we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. That way you guys know the layout of the land. So who the heck were these people? Which, by the way, all of you communication device people, I am not going to be giving you questions like what color is George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the big red barn. You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes. So, Eliza and Charles had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks, right? So that's why we look for the secondary verifiers to kind of see what's going on with all of these different devices. Keep in mind that that's the only entrance and exit for vehicles to come in. So that's why we look for those. Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than everybody here. We're going to move on to Eliza. She has a much better story. Eliza married Charles at a young age according to today's standards. The reason I bring up today's standards is because if you're going to ask her how old she was, you're not going to hear numbers like 12 and 14 from the colonial times that she came from. You're going to get numbers according to today's standards. Now, her husband was over double her age when they married. So again, kind of a creepy age gap back in the 1700s, definitely a creepy age gap now. She married Charles because her father was over in England and he thought he was dying. So he's trying to bring all of his children home so that way he can see them one last time. Eliza didn't believe he was dying, so instead she got married. It's 1744. You don't get married then for a green card. We're not even a country yet. So she, yeah, I know, right? She did marry him out of love and there was no foul play. We are dealing with a very prominent English woman, by the way. We're going to be very respectful in this location. Now, she was right, and Dad didn't die. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to this space. One of those gifts happened to be the plant seeds of indigo. You guys have been in town for at least a day. You've seen the word indigo somewhere. It's a plant that makes blue dye that makes our blue jeans blue. That's what we use it for today. So, you guys are wearing it right now. I'm sorry, it's the only blue I can see. Now, when she got the seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from her slaves and servants how to keep it cultivated, and then how to make it into a dye. So when she figured it out here, she moved it to a cash crop plantation and then got a hold of her dad and said, the rice plantations are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times.
6 point.
Nice. So we're going to escalate it from there. Don't tell me anything below 6.3. So I'm going to be writing this down.
I got some red also.
You got some red? Nice. So yours went all the way up to 25. Just be careful, like when the camera's close to it, you might get some false positives. Like it would have to be touching it, just so you know. So let's kind of go through the weird stuff. That was the boring business stuff of Eliza Pinckney. Let's go through all of these spirit boxes and kind of give you guys a series of questions so you have something to focus on. So, Abby, with yours, we're dealing with 2 different Elizas in this location. Charles Pinckney had 2 wives named Eliza.
12.3.
Nice. 6'3" and 12'3". Good. The first wife, Eliza, died in January of 1744. He marries the one we just talked about 5 months later. Happy guy, right? Same name. So, both Elizas have a maiden name that starts with the letter L. Figure out which one we're dealing with, or you can use the age question of when they actually got married. Next spirit box, Mia. You're going to ask what happened to the mansion, and then when did that happen?
Okay.
So when we all start spreading out.
All right.
With yours, I think we're going to go with the same thing because that only gives us like 1 to 2 syllables at a time. What happened to the mansion? When did that happen?
Okay.
We're looking for that very specific date. So Michael, with yours, we don't have full questions for yours yet, so we're just going to kind of see what happens. Hopefully we're going to be able to get initials or something out of that. Paula, with yours, you guys are going to go after Eliza's death. So how old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, what president was the pallbearer at the funeral. These are all very specific questions. If you're not getting answers to your questions, feel free to cherry pick off of something that I gave somebody else. The reason why I've kind of assigned them out this way is so that way you're not all trying to figure out who the pallbearer was at the same time. Now, keep in mind, we have a lot of communication devices out here. If you're not getting a direct answer, it doesn't mean that it's not going to another device. If you kind of remember your TV shows that you watch, they usually only use 1 or 2 devices at a time. We're using 11 tonight. So again, keep that in mind. There's a lot going on out here. So we're going to see what goes on. I do have to keep Lauren behind so I can show her how to use that a little bit more thoroughly. So again, I'm going to be bouncing around with all of you. I'll do 2 round robins. We are going to be brief here, no more than 10 minutes. This is one of the spaces that I was actually looking to retire. So I want to kind of see what's going on with this location by being very brief and being very respectful here first. So the reason I change everything up every November, December. Yes, sir.
Can you come here when you get a chance and look at something? I don't want to move out of the spot in case I lose it. Oh, that's interesting. So right before you moved here, the blue dot was going back and forth in a little vertical thing, but now it all changed color just now.
And it's probably because I left the frame. Let me get back in there.
Yep. Okay.
And that black that you see up there is the sky just above the barn.
Yeah, and I'm looking at you, but there's like a thing over there behind you that is vertical blue on top of a orange. I wanted you to come here and tell me if I was seeing something because you were talking earlier about shapes and stuff. That's all. But we're recording it, so.
Yeah, we are.
And this is around, just so you know, this is around the 6:25 mark.
Oh, that's not going to help me.
Oh, okay.
I just look at the Pinckney Mansion.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah, don't pay attention to the timer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right, let's spread out, have some fun.
What do I do when we're spread out? Since I've got the thermal imaging.
Nice slow motions.
Okay.
How much?
16.2.
So nice slow motions. Yes.
I'm not really getting anything here. Oh, he said to keep people in the frame the whole time. That's right. Oops. He said to keep people in the frame the whole time. I messed that up. Ah, okay. We're good.
Watch out for that car.
You need the one closer to the edge to push it in.
You pick anything up?
No, I just pushed the one button.
Well, Mia?
Haven't gotten anything yet.
Okay.
What happened?
He said to always keep somebody in the frame.
Didn't get anything.
Nothing yet?
No.
Let's get a good
What happened to the
When did it
mansion?
happen? It's really active over here.
Yeah, it is.
Here, wait, I'll take a picture.
What happened to the mansion and when? Good now?
I was trying to get Nick to come over.
What happened to the mansion?
No, you can't be like that.
Yeah,
You got to be
don't
calm.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Ghosts
Remember, she was a
scare
very
easily.
prominent English woman, so
Channel-
acts like we're in the 1800s. Respect.
You know,
Very
spirits
sorry.
scare
Drink some
easily.
tea.
What happened?
There's something over
What
here.
happened to the mansion?
Because you got a lot of chatter on your thing.
Yeah, it's very blank. Like, I got Sorry I Love You, and, like, the song If You Gave Me a Chance, I Would Take It. I got those, too.
Do you have to tell Nick?
Yeah.
And don't be weirded out if I follow the two of you
Oh,
because
no, I don't care.
you've
I
done
know-
this before. So it only makes sense I would kind of follow you.
I understand completely.
Okay. All right.
My dad's
Wait,
so-
where did you get like all that activity? Like over here?
Like right
He's
here.
a more creepy than a regular dad. He's actually
42?
42.
Maybe it's a year, like, I wonder if he... Oh, when did it happen? I have, yeah, that, so what... New Year's.
Oh my god.
That's soon.
Nick,
$80.
Nick. I don't want to scare the ghosts. Here, I'll keep you guys in view. I'm going to go get Nick.
Maybe 1842 on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nick. We think we're picking some stuff up over here. No joke. Don't mean to interrupt. Sorry. But here. Tell Nick.
It's really active at this spot, or at least more than it has been. Sorry I Love You, 42, 80, New Year's, and like the song If You Gave Me a Chance, I Would Take It, and like those exact words.
And I'm a witness.
Let's watch the vehicle. Let's move up to the
Yeah, that's what I was worried about.
I'm an audio witness because I'm not picking anything up on the infrared though.
Sorry, I love you.
That was like immediately after I asked the question.
What was the question?
What happened to the mansion and when?
Okay. What were the other things you heard?
Like if you gave me a chance, I would take it. Like the song, I heard like that phrase in the song.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then yeah, 1842. New Year. That was the answer.
For just a brief second, the audio was
It was like going crazy.
yeah. Witness.
It's actually. Did you hear something? What did you hear?
I definitely heard New Year's. I heard 80 and I heard.
You heard all the same thing she did?
Yeah.
On yours.
I meant on yours. You ever heard anything on yours? All right, so Mike, I gotta show you how to use that thing. So, real quick, you have a full set of letters right there, right? So anytime it gets full and you can't see anything that might be spelling, or if you want me to take a look at it, just take this big dial right here and turn it down.
I don't know, it's still have a
back
big
up, so it's pointing to the left, and then it'll start it off fresh. So
What happened to the mansion and when?
Trying a British accent.
I'm gonna go back over here.
That was wild.
Dazzling what?
That was wild over there.
What would happen over there?
Mine
Europe?
went crazy.
Wait, right there?
Yeah.
See,
Like here?
And it said workers and it
Was
said
it here?
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where mine was.
Yeah,
Mine
we
was
were all
crazy
standing right
too.
here and it went crazy.
It's not anymore, but it was.
Oh, that's no good. Mine went crazy over here too. It's not doing it anymore.
So hers went crazy in the same
the same
spot that hers
spot.
did.
What does it mean when it gets red in here?
it's just part of the aesthetics of the app. Like it's
Oh.
meant to try to scare people. That's why
It
I say
scared
80%,
me.
like 80% of that is just going to
I
be
was like,
garbage.
wow.
So
Okay. I thought.
Have you
I
got
think
the
it's because we were next to a
hear it?
European car.
again,
Yours came up Europe?
Yeah.
Next to the Audi.
Oh,
you have Europe and Burning.
Yeah.
Koran.
Nice.
What did it say?
So maybe the mansion.
Koran.
Quran?
Yeah.
Well, yours also came up Palestinian earlier,
It did,
too.
yes.
I'll
And it
explain
said
that
workers earlier.
Well,
Later. I'll explain that later.
What happened to the mansion?
He's so calm. I'd be like, whoa. I know. Oh, ballet.
Oh, I got something.
you get?
I mean, that's what I want you to do.
What'd you get?
So if you hear go by
What happened to the mansion? I hear something, but I just can't process it.
There's nothing here on the infrared, I can tell you that.
It's not us.
Well, you're on here. Like, he told me to always keep one of you in sight, so I am. But I'm not picking anything else up, like a blue figure or...
If there's gonna be one, it's gonna be behind him.
All right, I'll do a 360 on you.
I do come with jokes. Where are you guys from? Here. Oh. Isn't that cute? That's adorable. I know.
What happened to the mansion and when?
All right. Where's that word list at? Let me take a look at this.
Abby, Abby.
I want to see that word list.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's been pretty
I
deeply.
heard help me. What happened to the mansion?
This guy loves to predict who's going to be on my next tour. It happens all the time, and it usually does it by nationality and the first name.
Oh, stop.
Come on.
Does it all the
Really?
time.
So you're going to have a Palestinian
I don't
guy
know.
or an Arabic
Of course,
guy.
who knows? So if it does happen, it'll happen. And sometimes it doesn't on my
Say
current
we're
group.
gonna have like a sheet
What happened to the mansion?
Did not.
bummer.
They didn't see you coming. Apparently.
Hey, Nick.
Or
Nick.
Yes.
All right. I'm always making sure that somebody is in view. Tell me again what I'm looking for. There's the blue dot.
What
Right.
happened
So the blue
to
dot's going to
mansion?
go to the coldest,
Coldest,
spot.
right.
So the reason why it's pointing right there is because glass is going to be the coldest thing. That is the
Yeah.
back of that van.
Got it.
So you're looking for blue and black shapes to like start moving or to take shape.
Okay.
That's
thank
what you're
you,
looking
thank
for.
you. See, what I saw over there was something that was vertical, that was sort of swishing like that, and it was vertical. It was like a little behind you. But this seems to be a main area here.
whoa, I'm getting yelled. Oh, maybe it's me.
Oh, you actually had no. It's trust me. You weren't.
What point 3?
I saw that. It was yellow.
And what does that mean?
You already had all the way up to the red.
Oh. Were you with us when a bunch of words came up over the radio?
Really?
Yeah.
Now that it's kind of overridden itself, reset. Perfect.
I got ghosted like 12 days.
Well, if there's spirits here, they're not evolving.
Oh, ghosted? Like called in Spanish. It was like Spanish. Yeah.
I'm gonna follow up with all of the
Are we doing good?
Yes.
In that square.
There goes your buddy.
What happened to the mansion?
Can I tell you something? If they're here, they're not taking form.
Oh no?
No, I'm not saying they're not here or they are here. I'm just saying they're not taking form. Because he reminded me what I needed to do.
Oh,
Let's all
okay.
head back to where we started. Let's head back to.
Oh, alone.
You got a loan?
Alone. That's cool.
Maybe
Can I see?
Yeah.
maybe someone was alone when it happened.
Let's see what else came up. State its market.
Yeah, boy, you're really,
She's in fuego over there. How are
she
you?
is.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Yeah, but
That's
I'm not
really cool.
picking anything.
I feel like you're going to though.
Oh, we'll see. I think yours is kind of cool with the words.
Any other craziness going on?
Yours, X10.
All right. Here's what I'm excited about, everybody. Let's
Oh.
rein it in so nobody gets hit by
Sorry.
a car. Come on over a little bit further. Go ahead and stop your video, Josh, and give your hands a break. A big staple for most ghost tours. We'll get some people passing by. When it does occur, yeah, that's weird that that's going up. We normally don't get
Oh, boy.
stations, so I would move around a little bit. Let's kind of see what's going on with that. But when a tour does
staying
come through
there.
here, we're just going to split the seas and kind of let them pass. So that kind of mentality. I have no idea like what is going on with all of the cops out tonight.
I know.
Look at that.
It's weird.
She's getting readings, man.
But it's constant. So when it's constant like that, it's usually coming from something man-made.
Oh.
So
Is
again,
that always?
Okay, good to know.
no, not like this.
That's weird.
Maybe something happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So let's kind of.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Along the way here,
I heard like freaking gate.
you heard what?
I heard a gate.
Oh, you mean like a sound? Like
Oh.
from this?
I meant from the
Or was it
spirit
from-
box.
yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
It was from my spirit box?
What number?
For sure.
105.5.
Creaking gate?
There's like
Okay.
something. Is someone
90.
screaming?
Maybe someone screaming or creaking
High
gate.
pitch?
I didn't
It was
hear
all high
anything,
pitch.
but yeah.
That just it keeps going away and coming back.
Where's it?
Yeah. So constant reading is usually coming from something man-made.
I
so
heard it's running.
it's running.
Okay, that scares me half to death.
Anybody else hear anything?
I'll tell you, this blue dot is jumping everywhere.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Okay.
Again, I'll be freeze framing anything that I see that's under that 44 degrees.
Can I ask?
We're gonna go through the history first.
Okay.
So, all right, everybody, let's gather around. It's story
I mean,
time.
this blue dot is going nuts.
Come on over. Let me tell you why we're here. So, this is Philadelphia Alley. So, this is, again, a staple for all ghost tours. Every ghost tour comes through here. However, the story that I'm going to cover is the same one that they have, but it's going to have a lot more detail to it just because you're ghost hunting. This is not a campfire ghost story where we're just going to tell it and move on. So, here's how it goes. There's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda, get rid of the doctor. So Dr. Ladd comes to Charleston to prove that he's not just after Amanda's money. The coachman that brought him into town set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start to his stay in Charleston. So somebody was walking by. His name was Ralph Isaacs. I'm going to stop on Ralph because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. That's the reason. That's the reason why I got the Ouija board device, was for that RI. Are they consecutive?
It's IR back.
IR backwards.
So that might be.
Or it could be
The name.
Ralph Isaac.
Right, or Ralph Isaacs. So we still have the IR. So,
I gotta tell you, this thing is popping around.
so
It sounded like music.
Ralph tells the doctor, because he knows what's about to happen, you don't want to go in there. I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. I got some friends at 59 Church Street, which is exactly what I was asking you what numbers you heard. So you can stay with those friends of mine, and you'll be safe and good to go. Dr. Ladd takes him up on the offer, and they become friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he wasn't after Amanda's cash. So, he becomes known as the Whistling Doctor, because Amanda's coming down soon so they can get married. It's the late 1700s. Men whistle. That's what they did. What I'm going to tell you is that every haunted city you'll ever visit in the future has a cliched whistling ghost. So, you got to give me just a few minutes. Let me kind of get through all the details. So, everybody has a cliched whistling ghost. Now, Ralph and the doctor go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just kind of the way the hierarchy went. They talk about these plays on the way home. They saw Richard III one night. They're walking home talking about the new actress that was here. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph, not so much. They start arguing, and then Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiancée back home in Rhode Island. It gets very ugly, and they go their separate ways. I told you Ralph has friends here. Goes to his friends at the newspaper, puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society, sir. Dr. Ladd sees the ad and rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this once and for all. So they came down, they took their 10 paces, they turned, the doctor pointed his gun in the air, and he shot. He did not want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight, which is often what happens at a duel. But Ralph has his one shot. Anybody want to take a guess where he put it?
In temple?
Nope.
No way. I thought
He put it in the kneecap on the doctor. He falls to the ground and doesn't die either. But Ralph proved his point that he's not willing to forgive. Dr. Ladd's friends pick him up. They carry him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later, or 4 days later, depending on which version of the story you're reading, after refusing medical treatment. You have to remember that this guy's a doctor. He probably tried to bleed out this wound himself. So, the other ghost tours will tell you that you can hear the whistles from the doctor as you're walking through here. You guys hear how quiet it is right now? It is like this on a Saturday afternoon. Busy and bustling city that we have. It's always this quiet. You'll hear the air conditioner from this building over here, but that's about it. So, we're using my voice recorder at this point, so hopefully you're going to capture some whistles in the background of this. If you're going to try this on your own without me, I can't take you all the way through, and I'm going to explain why in just a moment. I've been kicked out of here. It's a good time. So, listen for those whistles, but keep in mind all the locals know the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street throws a whistle down the alley every single time they do it. I do it every night. I'm not going to lie. I pass this alley every night, and I always throw a whistle down this alley. It's just a habit.
Is there a certain tune to the whistle, or is it...
I will also tell you that it's not exactly like it's not super loud. Like, it's a faint whistle in the background like wind. Like, that's what it sounds like. I do have some that I can't debunk because, again, we get a lot of those fake ones. You can debunk those pretty quickly. We also get the word whistle on your spirit boxes or whistling straight from a song. Think of the Moves Like Jagger song where there's just whistling, or Guns N' Roses' Patience where there's just whistling. We get whistling on your spirit boxes just by being in this alley. Here's how I got kicked out of here. This is the fun part of the story. That got your attention, huh, Ben? Yeah. I saw that. So, this alley didn't always go all the way through. It actually was cut off about halfway between us and Cumberland Street. Reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city. This is obviously before it was Dueler's Alley. So, that means those bricks on that side are older than this side. I would always point out the bricks on that side because they're sun-dried bricks from slave children. That means they basically turned them in the sun to bake them. There's one full handprint from a slave child down there and fingerprint swipes. I show it off to everybody because we all need to see how far we've come from slavery. I don't really care about the diversity of my groups. That's just how I roll. However, everybody wants to try to get a reading out of that brick with the handprint. I treat it the same way I do a grave. That kid's not staring at that brick in the afterlife. That's the last place he wants to be. November 26th of 2020, I'm trying to scurry my group along because it's right outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm not supposed to be there, and I don't know my bounds yet. Yeah, we're not supposed to be in residential areas. So, new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was great because Dad's getting yelled at, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart. Y'all feel my pain now, where I'm never working another Thanksgiving? Yeah, you know it. So, the next day was November 28th of 2020. I got a phone call asking me to go down halfway or to reroute my group. I didn't think it was fair for my groups of 10 to be working around 20 to 60 other people. I'm going to reroute. I told my group, I don't believe in pirates, especially the story we're going to. I'm a vampire guy. We're going to see what happens. We're going to wing it. Before we left, somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell that group that we are going to be investigating the female pirate Anne Bonny. So it's kind of like, all right, we'll see what happens. We get down there. I told what little bit I knew about pirates. Somebody else heard the number 300. I didn't know what that meant in real time. I'm doing the research for them the next day. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720. The exact 300-year anniversary of her trial. So I keep taking you guys back there in hopes that we're going to continue to get more activity. It's a hit or miss location. We're either going to have a lot going on or nothing. It's just one of those spaces. So everything we're about to go through with that next space, just so you know, I've read more books on piracy than I've ever wanted to in my entire life, including all of the old English ones, just to make sure all of my facts were correct. This is based off of, I'm trying to put together a factual investigation on pirate lore. Be thankful I have a master's degree in creative writing. I was able to piece it together. Worst case scenario, you'll learn a lot of things about pirates that you never even thought about in the past. So, any major things that we're hearing or seeing before we leave this space, because again, we're not going to spread out on this location. Anything coming up on the word list over there?
Funeral?
Nothing.
Epidemic?
Oh, I
Yeah.
heard something.
What'd you hear?
I heard do it right.
Do it right.
Should I turn this back on?
You can unmute it once we start walking. Anybody else hear anything? Paul, you got anything? Okay. All right. Silence is compliance. So,
I heard also like fake whistling, but like everywhere.
yeah, you get a lot of people just throwing whistles all the time. You're going to use the voice recorder to see if it's actually there.
Alright, cause like I find.
Yeah. You're going to get a lot of whistles around here.
Yeah.
Let's go learn about some crazy pirates and see what we can capture up around the corner.
They really say Arg matey?
No.
Should I keep rolling?
I would actually cut it until we get to the location, just because there's a lot of tours.
No, I understand.
Not right now, though, babe.
Vehicles done over there. I don't know who's in that car. Did I give that to the wrong person, Abby? Did I give it to the wrong person? The camera? She's like, yeah, probably. All right, so gather around. We're going to go through quick history, and then you guys are going to spread out and investigate. But we're going to be talking about that little tiny building over there. The reason I bring us back here is because a lot of the other tours like to cut through here, and we're going to just stay out of their way. So that little tiny building with the crosses on it, those are not crosses. Those are earthquake bolts. So earthquake bolts, if you're not familiar with what those are, they're turnbuckles. In the event we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, you can turn them after the earthquake, and it's supposed to tighten the building back up so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. Don't be too impressed over there, Abby. I've seen that smug on your face. So, the reason I bring these up is because it's the exact reason why we're here. Those are the oldest, or the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston put in, because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. So, sorry, I'm going to get this a little bit closer. So, being finished in 1713, our story begins during this building's construction. This building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? 10 years, small building? No, not at all. So, 1708. Follow me. There's a lot of twists in this, guys. So, again, I know you guys have kind of like been talking amongst yourselves, but you'll get lost really fast. A young lady moves here by the name of Anne Cormack. She's with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Is everybody with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
The three of them are running away from Anne's father's angry wife. Got all that? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, how mad was she that they had to leave Ireland to come here in 1708? There's no planes. Yeah, they got on a boat and got the hell out of Dodge. So, they land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation, and Mom died pretty quickly. That means he has to send young Anne down here to be able to sell anything from the plantation to keep things afloat. We're here because the building is what I call a familiar. This is the same principle of using a toy to attract a child ghost. She would recognize this building because she knew it at the time that she was alive. You guys get the point of that? Okay. So, Anne, back home in Ireland, is said to be kind of a badass. They say when she was like 7, 8, 9 years old, remember this is pirate lore, nothing's going to be super exact, she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. She was only 7, 8, or 9 years old. Yeah, I just like to put that mentality of her in the back of your brain so as we go through her story it makes sense. Let's go fast forward. The building's done in 13. By 1715, pirates are coming through town. Anne is stoked. Why? She's going to fall in love, so that way she can earn her freedom, just like a man, because it's a man's world at this point. Guy number one. Yes, there's a tally, and we're going to go through them. Guy number one is James Bonny. You already know where this one's going, because we've already mentioned her married name. Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormack is now Anne Bonny, the famous female pirate. However, James Bonny, her new husband, is not Captain Jack Sparrow like she was hoping for. This guy is a privateer. What does that mean? He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This is not what she wants. A few years later, she falls in love again. Guy number two. John Rackham, a.k.a. Calico Jack. This is the guy that they based your Captain Jack Sparrow character off of. So this is the guy. Definitely the guy. He has his own crew. She wants to be part of it. You can't put a girl on a pirate crew. Does anybody know why? And keep it family friendly. There's kids here.
Bad luck.
Yes, they're bad luck. Thank you. So, you wouldn't believe the answers I get out of that question. Now, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like a guy, you can be part of the crew. You're going to hide your gender, but you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy back home, as a boy apprentice, to hide her away from his wife. She's like, whatever, it's a man's world, let's go. Put two and two together, adults. She's a female in his quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. So, and then they're all going to vote Jack off the ship. Now, he drops her off in Cuba. Go have the baby over here. These are friends of mine. They'll help you out. Come back later. We'll figure it out. She goes and has the baby, but returns with no baby. No amount of my research can figure out what the heck happened to this poor child. The part of the story that's significant is that she came back dressed as a female, which makes Jack pretty angry. And while she was away giving birth to his child, he captured another pirate crew. They're down below deck. Anne's going to go flirting with that pirate crew, because that's who Anne is, to make Jack even more mad. We're on guy number 3, in case you lost track over there, Josh. So,
I'm with
guy
ya.
number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the pirate crew that Calico Jack captured. So now we have 2 females dressed like males on the same ship, right? Her name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really ever know for sure, but the British find out where they are. They send a fleet of ships to come take down one measly pirate ship. Rumor has it that Anne and Mary were the only two pirates that were not drunk enough to come up and fight with their one-bullet flintlocks. They probably didn't know how to use cannon jet because they weren't pirates for very long. Obviously, two young ladies with flintlocks are not going to take on a fleet of ships. They get arrested. And as they're being arrested, she looks at her captain, her beau, Calico Jack, and she says, "You should have fought like a man instead of being hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on your spirit boxes a lot here, just so you guys know. The judge, he wants to see the two quote-unquote men that fought back so valiantly. After he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight 2 days prior. They're already dead and gone. The two ladies go in front, reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. He doesn't care that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies was the last thing we screamed out. Why? You can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He delays the hanging, sends them both back to jail. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne, brings her back home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary Reed. We don't really know. She has 4 kids. Dies at the age of 84. Yes, very abrupt ending. You're not expecting that, were you? No. We don't know much about her after her pirate career. Mary Reed dies a year later, 1721, from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Most books will tell you that it was fever. I'm going to call it BS and make it romantic for yourselves. It's probably scurvious and nasty and gross. And yeah, do whatever you got to do. It's pirates. So really, liven it up. 2 things I left out of here on purpose. I'm not going to give you a whole plethora of questions because this is pirates. We don't need to be super careful, like we were with the English woman over there, right? So, I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. Now it's the father and the mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship. So you guys can ask any of those questions or anything else that your little hearts desire. However, with yours, Miss Lauren, you're going to ask Anne Bonny what her hair color is, and hopefully she's going to show you, because the only way we can get the answer is for her to touch the antenna. Yes. So her hair color was red. So very interesting how this one plays out. We're going to know within 5 minutes if we have something going on here or not, and then we're going to go to our last location, which is the new location that I don't know everything about. So I'll tell you what I do know, and then we'll kind of get into that nitty-gritty. That's a cool spot too, and it's a really great story to end with. So, Paul, have you heard anything before we separate? We are going to stay within the confines of the lot, just so you know. No filming of cars and all that, and that's the same rules as what we did over at Pinckney Mansion site. Just stay out of the way of the other tours. Be ready for everybody to start staring at you for all of your blinky lights and your gizmos. So that's kind of what happens every night. Just so you know, Ben, one of the best orbs I've ever caught has been at this location. Really? It was the size of my head. Do a good job. And it was an intelligent, basically what it did was it came up behind me, the size of my head, and then saw me and went up, and then dissipated. Yeah.
There's something going on.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Also, with yours, that's a relatively new device as well. One of the first nights we used that. I'm packing things up. This used to be my big finale, and we had a really light night. Not a whole lot going on. The group was really disappointed. The person handed it back to me, pirate, and we got it on the video audio. So I was super stoked for that group. That was one of the best things we've ever had out of that one. I couldn't determine if it was disembodied or radio chatter, but it was definitely not part of a sentence. Yes.
So I've sort of just been going a little bit back and forth here, following your directions. And not to freak out my wife or anything, but the blue dot keeps centering around her. Whether I'm panning here or I'm panning there.
How cold is it?
Well, I don't know, but it just, if I was over here, the blue dot was closer to her. If I was over here, the blue dot was over here. And this is the general area.
Very interesting.
Thank you.
I think
So we'll
you
have
like
to see
it.
how cold
base.
it actually goes.
Yeah, it's the basic area. Yeah. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees this.
So, did you see how there's kind of an outline around
My wife, Michelle, or the other lady?
the other layer? Horrible
That's
name
okay.
sometimes. But
The
anyway,
lady on the left.
so the black is obviously the coldest areas because your
Right.
body emits heat.
Right.
So that means your body's going to be the warmest thing, which means the coldest thing next to it is going to be the air right next to your body.
Oh, I didn't
That's
know
why
that.
you always have
Okay.
I had to study thermodynamics
Yeah.
on this.
But
guy.
the thing is when there were people standing here, and I pan over here, the blue dot was towards my wife.
Interesting.
And then when over here at the group, the blue dot was still towards the area where my wife was.
Also-
I'm not saying it's her, but it's that area.
Yeah. Well, also look at the lot. You see how we have black around her?
Yeah.
But if you also look, it's shaded areas.
Yeah.
So there's definitely going to be
The
the
trees,
cold-
yeah.
right. So
Okay.
it's going to be the
Very
stuff
cool.
in that shade.
Okay. Cool.
Hearing I'd run.
I'd run.
That's what I.
What was the name of your ship? love with Mary Reed. Hey.
Yeah, you can get that in.
Yes. What color was your
What was the name of your kit?
You know the ghost isn't inside it, right? You don't have to use this as a walkie-talkie.
Oh, sorry. That was like I wasn't thinking about doing that. I was just doing it like, yeah.
I know. Let's just do it then in front of everybody.
What color was your
Is
phone?
it following me
I
still?
would too. Don't worry.
The blue dot was somewhere around you. I just didn't see anything.
That's cool.
But he was saying that we give off heat, and then there's like a little cool pocket next to our bodies. But I explained to him what was going on.
See any
You picking up any words?
Yeah, it says out.
Out?
Yeah.
Out what? Like she came out of the closet kind of out?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, if she had a
It said
lady friend.
recognize previous and out.
Well, he's been here before. That could be the previous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You getting anything on the EM band?
No, it's interesting. You're right. 0.2, nothing compared to like that first place.
Now, I hate to debunk some of this, but we don't have as many electrical lines that we're as close to. See the electricity lines? We were much closer to them at the other spot.
Do you know it changed? I say you could have a surge of electricity in there.
I don't
Maybe.
know. I don't know, but I'm trying to be as scientific as
But it
possible.
wasn't consistent, just so you know. Like,
Yeah.
you'd get one reading of like that 20 and the next second nothing.
Yeah.
So just curious.
The electricity does flow through it. It's a constant. It should be, but I don't know. But then this blue dot was all around my wife. And I was moving the camera around, and it kept wanting to go back towards her. You got a Salem?
Oh no. Well, it's L and SAAEM. So if you like put the L in there, like Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah. We live near Salem, so.
Maybe maybe they're trying to say to you, I know where you live. Did you ever think about that? You should ask Nick.
Come running back to me like all excited. You know, hopefully you have a name. Like, oh, was the dad's name this? Or
Ask if they've ever been to Salem.
Have you ever been to Salem?
looking for those specific details.
I don't know how you. No.
You ask them if they believe in witches. Witches.
Oh,
were
sorry.
No, witches, Salem. Remember they burned the witches?
I don't know how to. No.
Put A.
Hi. Hi.
And that happens.
Said hi.
And that's usually why I give her a peanut.
Hey, you here?
Oh, yeah.
Any new words?
Ear.
Ear.
Yeah.
This is perfect weather for you guys, too, by the way. This is amazing. All right, where's your word list at?
This is. I did. What did you just hear? What did you just
I
hear?
think you spoke to it because you were talking to him. You missed it. I don't know what it
What
said.
did it say?
Oh.
You do know.
Okay. Again? Okay.
How many lovers did you
Okay.
No, the blue dot's staying away from you now. But back there,
The left.
oh,
That's nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's just me walking.
So cool.
oh,
It's very sensitive. I'm not getting any numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're getting stuff.
you know the tree behind you is giving off some thermal.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless you. Were you in love with Mary? She said I was. That's what I heard.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
I'd be more definitive
Can you
if she
tell
gave
me
you
more
the
about
name
Mary
Mary and
Reed?
Audrey.
I knew.
Wouldn't make it.
How about your ship?
Any
What was your
readings
ship's
going on over
name?
there?
Or sorry.
I hear it.
Why are we doing that? Yeah.
You got any colors that I need to be writing
What
down?
about your parents? What was
I had no numbers.
Yeah, you won't until you're like in the corners of this lot because of the electrical poles.
Okay.
So I don't normally focus on numbers here. I mean, if you do get like a 6 or a 7, I'm excited.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's usually about the colors in this location.
Okay.
So yeah, those constant green is kind of crazy.
Well, I'm not picking anything up with you guys here on the thermal imaging. Except for a nearby window.
Is it a portal?
Well, I don't know. It's black. It's between the two of you, though, which is interesting. So there's a window over there somewhere. It's picking up.
So
It's black.
A plate right there on the sign.
There's a sign over there?
There's a sign right there.
Oh,
It'll be right
duh.
between us.
Okay.
See? That's why you guys keep me around. Lots and lots of debunking.
My daughter's taking this uber seriously. She's
I
having
know.
a blast.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I take this uber seriously.
Yeah, I know. I love
Yeah.
it.
No, she's
Your
having a
daughter
blast.
is so lucky to have me. This is so great.
Did you get anything on your
Daughter is
camera?
very good.
Haven't seen anything yet. At least not what I've been watching.
We actually played. She was on the tour last night. And she wanted to try some new things. That I am an orb. You know, different methods. So
Any new words?
kind of like
Great.
experiment,
Yeah.
you know, with certain things. All right. I'm gonna actually
My
start.
problem with the alarm clock radio is that I had one, you know, something going on in my house. One of the things it does in a couple times in my life in different locations is that something that's like
Michelle, we got to try and get a picture or something.
will show up in the middle of the other
You got something? What? There's a bug or a word? Oh.
Ego.
Ego?
And then a bug.
Oh.
I heard this is gold twice, and
Oh,
before
pirate.
midnight.
What was your ship's name? Was there anything to do with Philadelphia?
What do you have?
What PH?
Well, Michael said we got the PH. Michael said
We got
Philadelphia.
Salem.
We had something very like an anagram of Salem.
What does it look like?
It was LSAAEM. So the L like
So you had all the letters just scrambled.
yeah, and an extra A. And I heard holiday. There's something else. Yes. Weekend, and then more like angel music, like choir.
Well, you're near the church, so we
That's
get a
also-
lot of religious things.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over to the wall because everything you guys have given me is not relative to Anne Bonny or Mary Read. So let's-
Should I turn off the video?
Yeah, kill your video. Or anything. I'm gonna wait for them to leave and we'll get started because that's the monument we need. Has anybody else heard anything or seen anything along the way? Keep turning that flashlight on.
Mia, did you pick up anything?
Yes. Are they classified as
Yeah.
white lady? Like they're a whole. It just depends because there's literally like 4 different types of ghosts. I wrote a whole piece on it, so it'll be.
Is
on
it online?
It's on my website. That
Cool.
You're gonna have.
I'll read it. Thank you. That's dope. Cool. Is there any?
Oh, you got the word thirsty?
No, I'm thirsty.
Oh, you're thirsty. Does it work?
Woo!
Go for it. I'm thirsty too.
That's cool. Probably gonna get
Does it taste decent?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Ah,
Not bad, right?
not bad at all.
The first time I came here 2 months ago, you guys can see that there's a lot of monuments in here. I had no idea what I was going to get. I was just with two people. It was kind of a light rainy night. I don't know two people close. So I was like, we're going to go ghost hunting in a light rain. Yeah. So we came here, and I told them I have no idea what we're going to find. Let's listen to these spirit boxes and see what's up. And all the clues that we had that night led directly to this man behind me. This is Henry Timrod. We had his first name, Henry. We had Tim out of Timrod, and we had the year of his birth, the exact year of his birth come through the spirit box. I knew I had heard this story before, but I didn't recall the entire thing. I didn't hear it at this location, which is what makes the entire story very uncanny for us. Henry Timrod was a poet and a writer. He was actually very sick for most of his life. He was born in the 1800s, which makes him alive for the Civil War. He wants to fight for the Confederates, so he goes to the battlefield. His comrades realize he's too sick to fight. So he is sent home by his comrades, and they said, go be the voice of the war. So he came home and started writing poetry based on what was going on the battlefield. Not to mention in the hearts and minds of Charlestonians in the South during the Civil War. So he became known as the laureate of the Confederacy. This was a pretty big deal. However, a few years after he was sent home, he loses his son at a very young age. You guys are going to find out what it was and who his name actually was. I'm not going to give you that. That's going to be a small piece you're going to be searching for. Then his collegiate friend calls him up. His name is Paul Hayne Hamilton. And he says, you know what, I got a cottage out here in Columbia. You can come out here and stay and continue writing, and you'll be away from everything, and that way you're not reminded of all the things you've been dealing with. So he goes out there to write, and he's sitting at his desk in this cottage all alone, and he writes his last words. His last words, holder of brief mortality, meaning person of short life. And then he coughs, and the blood from the cough lands on the page. He had tuberculosis for a good portion of his life. That blood stain looks like a man writing over on a desk, like leaned over with a pen in hand. So, kind of ironic that he writes, use person with short life, interpreted, and then he coughs and dies right on the page. They show this page one time a year at the Charleston Library Society. It is called The Blood Book. I am going to show you what this looks like, and then we're going to read a very short stanza from one of his poems to kind of liven things up and hopefully stir things up. Very busy in here. She's very loud. It's normally very peaceful in here. So again, he's a shy, timid man. It's going to take us a few minutes to get anything out of him. So let me show you this blood book. We'll read the short stanza and stir things up, and then I'll give you a couple of questions of things that we've gotten the answers to. I told you I don't know much about this guy other than me reading his actual work, which is actually, paints a really good picture of what was going on in the battlefield. I'll go around the room so everybody doesn't have to huddle. So obviously you can see the blood from him. Oh. Yeah, this is the page that they show. And you can even see his last line of beholder of brief mortality.
Oh yeah. It's like splattered everywhere.
Yep. So that came out of his mouth. He was a writer. So we have
What?
Beware.
And mine said you're next.
It did say
Oh
you're
my.
next. Alright. So, very quick stanza. We know not in the temple of the fates, God has inscribed her doom. Notice that he refers to God as a female. And all untroubled in her faith, she waits the triumph or the tomb. He's basically stating, because this was written in the middle of the Civil War, that Charleston's fate is in the hands of the war, triumph or the tomb. So this was written in 1862, and the title of that poem is called Charleston. Obviously, he's writing about his beloved city. I will tell you, somebody brought one of those stick figure cameras on my tour a few weeks ago. We had a full 8-minute interaction with the stick figure standing right here. And when I say interaction, I mean, is it okay for me to read this poem, Henry? Please raise your right hand. The stick figure raised his right hand.
Oh my
And then
God.
dropped it.
Wild.
What do you mean by stick figure camera? I'm
So
sorry.
there's a camera that basically maps things out, and it looks like you would actually have a skeleton, because we're all people and things that we can see. But it also picks up the people we can't see. So in essence, it's mapping it out. I have actually been doing a lot of research on it, because for those of you big fans, you know that those things are giant and they're monstrosities.
I gotta, I'm sorry to interrupt you. And I don't mean to, like, spook anybody, but I think I might be getting a figure between you and him. I don't mean to,
No.
right
I'm
there.
moving away.
Oh my.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
I'm kind of getting goosebumps.
You should be.
I forgot his name.
Paul.
Paul. Between you and Paul, and I've got witnesses here.
Yeah, it's like a dog
Well, you're also
Oh my
recording.
god. He is right.
Shh. You can see like a head, right ahead, and like
Mine
shoulders.
says beware, run.
Yeah.
Oh, what? What?
All right, go ahead. I apologize for interrupting, but I thought you
Fine.
should know.
Keep filming.
I am.
Actually, at this point, what I want you to do so we don't lose it, stop it, and then back to the technology of the mapping. I've actually figured out a way. There's a new app out that actually uses iPad LiDAR technology that does the same thing with just a tablet. So, and it actually works a lot better. So the iPad is along the way. For those of you that I was talking to, I would think I told you, Lauren, I was actually getting new equipment to be able to add to the, to the tour. That's one of them. So the stick figure thing is actually a very big deal. So again, very interesting, and you guys will be able to see all of that footage. It is on your same tour page.
Yeah.
The
That blue
EMF
dot.
detectors. I will tell you, in the
Between
grassy
him and
areas,
Paul.
where's the other one? So Paul, we have gotten a thing in triple digits at this location. Normally on the exact grassy knoll at the opposite of the obelisk. So if you start getting higher numbers on that side, please let me know. I will be bouncing around with everybody in this location, but it does, sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. If it's not there, it's usually somewhere else. That's the way we've been noticing it. It's just kind of popping up wherever we get any kind of answers. Keep in mind, other tours are here. They're probably going to be leaving very shortly. Hopefully this loud girl will leave, so that way we can actually investigate. Did I say that out loud? Oh my god, it's on your audio. Good job, Nick. All right, guys, have some fun. Don't film the other tours, and I'll be bouncing around to see what's going on. Ben, with your camera, let me know if your light starts to flicker. I'm kind of testing things. I made sure I did not pull it off the charger until I literally was packing the bag. Normally that's one of the first things I charge. But we notice when I do that, it loses a little bit of charge and then starts flickering towards the end.
Yeah,
So I'm just
okay.
saying if it's a battery issue or is something draining it.
Looking for the screen to flicker? Or
So you'll
just on
you'll
top?
see it's flickering on your screen.
Okay.
So
All right.
I had a bad anagram. It said bad in the anagrams, and then it said you are you're in MBD, so you're bad.
you're bad.
What'd you get?
There's an anagram like bad beforehand.
This person's in pain.
I'm so scared of this.
Why?
They're just negative words coming.
We're saying negative words.
This one says trash.
How did you say he died again? I missed it because I got
Tuberculosis.
okay. Because I was so kind of taken with what could be that I'm. You're right. I remember he might be the spirit might be in pain.
Yeah.
If all these negative words are coming.
Right.
Yeah.
But the things that I've gotten from him in the past, they haven't necessarily been bad, you need to run.
No.
They've just been hey, my son's name was this, my wife's name was that, I died in this year. We're getting very simple terms. It's just learning about his life. We've never
Yeah,
gotten
but-
anything negative. At least not yet. Again, 2 months in,
I got magic.
magic.
Yeah.
Now, guys, you were standing and watching the chart.
I will tell you that the blue dot likes you, Nick. No, I'm being serious. You've moved and it stays with you. The
Which
blue.
is weird because normally I'm the warmest thing because I'm
Well, that blue dot likes you. So I'm going to keep this on you, okay?
you can follow me around. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
I'm used to being on camera.
Okay, the blue dot's done with you.
Can I see your hands, Michael?
They got white.
Y-U-R, yeah, and then B-D. Yeah. No, that makes sense, because obviously these are... Oh, yeah.
Hey, Mia, stand over by the statue and see if you pick up any words.
Have you had any readings come out of that? I would say that the other place to check, if it's not there, we found it over on that exit.
I'll tell you, the blue dot likes you again, Nick.
It's back on me again.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was bad. I might just be thinking
The blue dot likes Michelle now. There's something going on over here, I'll tell you.
I can't wait to get that camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've been listening to what you already heard. Yeah. Because it was recording for you, and you must have hit something on the front of it, and it did a playback instead.
I was like, I heard not well.
You know, all this happened when you were starting to read the poem.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's what sort of got his attention.
That's why I read the poem.
I know. It just seems like...
You know, there's no higher form of flattery to a writer than somebody being quoted to themselves.
Pick anything up on the radio here?
Magic part earlier. I already told him about that.
There was... I think a lot of it jumped when you started reading the poem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going back to this. What is that Cedric doing? I heard you dreams this week.
Yeah. When he walked away, the AIM word came up.
When who walked
Over there.
away?
When Ben walked away with the camera, it said AIM, and I was like, back here.
Yeah, but you do have the word son, which means we might actually get his son's name. It's very specific. It's not a generic, like...
Oh, he's getting some EM bands there.
Beyond across trap.
I got 4 Roman numerals. I also got cigar.
You actually got it spelled that way?
You must play a lot of Wordle.
Michelle says she's in the red over there. Here, Michelle, I'm coming your way. Stay there. Let me see if I can pick something up.
Well, we're also next to St.
Are you constantly in the red?
No.
What do you mean, no?
Breaking news.
Who died?
Barbara Walters.
They come in 3. How old was she? 90 something.
93.
I gotta sit down. My back hurts. Here, I gotta sit down. Go back towards the statue here where people are standing. Yeah, everything was going on while you started reading the poem. Any more words? Any more words?
Go away.
Seriously?
Yep.
It's time to go.
Withdrawal.
No.
Either he's going away or he wants us to go away.
Yeah.
If that's mom calling, it's like 5 minutes.
Okay, where are we gonna end?
Right here.
Okay,
Washington Park.
Washington Park.
What else you got going on?
No idea.
Alright. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot other than the word son. And Paul's not screaming over there because he has over 100, which is normally what happens.
So cool.
Yeah. But the only thing I got tonight that might be something was when I interrupted him over there. He was reading that and it just lit up. And I saw I brought my wife.
Spot, though, with it?
Yeah, it was a blue spot with a little figure. And it was between him and Paul.
Amazing.
And that was just, yeah.
All right. Let's head over to this bench over
I
here.
heard 15 and shield.
Are you going to grab Paul for us?
Yep, yep. I'm so sorry. Is there an address to this?
St. Michael's Church.
We are by St. Michael's Church.
Let's head over this way.
Love you.
Yeah. Pretty vague.
Okay. You want me to stop recording?
Yes. Let's go ahead and get those video cameras shut down. Kind of tell you how this is going to go. We're going to find out if Paul had any readings. Paul, did you